This will be part one of the benchtop build. Like and subscribe, and also check out my website at spikehornwoods.com. Well, I've been working on this for a while. I'm going to try to get my hat straight first. I'm going to try to get a bench built all along this wall right here. First, I had to move all that lumber away from the wall, along with many other things. I have table legs in here, and I've got an old gas stove right here that back in the day I used to use for cooking. This is an old LP gas stove. Had an oven, and that's all I had. I didn't have electricity here or anything. That's how long ago that was. That was close to 40 years ago. So we've come a long ways. But anyways, I have to get all this stuff moved out of here so I can plan out where my bench is going to go. And also, I'm going to incorporate this radial arm saw into the table. And I have to figure out how exactly I can do that. That is actually quite high for a working table. I would want it to be lower, so I don't know exactly how I would do it, but we'll figure it out. I should say, I'll figure it out, because I'm the only one doing it. Just a Harbor Freight chainsaw sharpener. It works pretty good. You can see my three helpers are helping me on the floor there. Here I'm removing the radial arm saw from its original table in order to incorporate it into the workbench. I'll need to have it free and clear from the bottom stand that it was originally put on. Now that I have the table removed from the radial arm saw, I'm going to have to go get some lumber. Well, we got pretty much everything we need here, I think. We shall see. All right, I've got the lumber. We're going to make a bench for my miter saw and my radial arm saw. Now, I'm thinking that maybe I want to have it the same height as my table saw. So I'll get to that later, but right now I'm cleaning up because it's been about 15 projects since I did clean up. So that's what I'm going to be doing now for the next little while. Sometimes just getting ready for a project like this is half the battle. And here I am unloading the lumber. And next I am going to straighten out a couple of 2x4s for my bench top. So I make sure I got a perfectly level top with no bow. This garage is a total disaster. I just have too much stuff in it. You know, that stuff that you keep that I might need it someday, but then when you need it, you can't find it. So I'm going to have to get rid of a bunch of things. Now I'm constructing the first 8-foot section of the bench top. Now I'm going to make an 8-foot section, then I'm going to have the radial arm saw, then I'm going to have, I think, a 3-foot section, and then the miter saw, and then another probably 6-foot section. It's going to end up to be a total of 20 feet long or 19 feet long. I don't normally drop any plans for anything like this. I'll just, wing it. And as I go, I'll make adjustments and measure, and, everything seems to always work out. Well, I've got the first 8-foot section in place and level. Here I'm going to be installing some carriage bolts in the bottom of each one of the front legs. This is going to enable me to level the tabletop, at least from the front side. The back side, of course, will be fixed and screwed to the wall. And here I'm going to be drilling out for where the bolt will go up into. I think I got 2-inch bolts, carriage bolts. And then you pound this, I forget what they're called, Z-knock maybe, or you pound that in there. After I drill this hole, that's what I'll do. And then you screw your bolt in there. And then you can screw it one way or another to elevate the front of the table. You know, it's a leveling device, kind of like your washer and dryer, something like that. I'm going to be using the Craig pocket hole jig on this project. It's probably not necessary, but I need to learn how to use this thing for future projects because I really don't have much knowledge of it. It's a pretty nice item. It keeps things straight and it really tightens things up. As you can see, what I did is I made a top frame. I secured it to the back wall, and then I started adding legs on the front side. Here I'm adding some cross members just for some support for the tabletop. So I have my first 8-foot section of the skeleton for the bench top, and now I'm just clearing a path so I can proceed to the right. Now I'm going to start constructing a drop-down part of the table where the radial arm saw is going to sit, and that's going to drop down about 5 inches to accommodate for the metal bed on the radial arm saw. And then what happens later is I'll have to level it up with my tabletop. When I did this project, it was about 15 degrees, and again, pocket hole jigs on this radial arm saw table, and then I'll measure from corner to corner to make sure that it's square. Again, I didn't have any plans for this, so I'm improvising here and there, adding boards to accommodate for where I need to make attachments. Well, it's a little chilly out. It's probably 15 degrees. You can see your breath. So, I was freezing. I had to go in the house for a little bit. But I'm fighting back. I got the heater. I can warm my fingers up a little bit every once in a while. And that should make all the difference. Oh yeah. Nice. Here I'm securing the drop-down table for the radial arm saw. It's about a 5-inch drop. Keeping everything level as I go along. Now I'll be measuring up the bench top that goes in between the radial arm saw and my chop saw. Installing more front leg levelers. You can start to see now how the bench top is starting to take shape. Here I'm just adding a few braces and supports, and this is going to conclude part 1 of this benchtop build. And in part 2 you will see how I incorporate the radial arm saw and the miter saw, and also the benchtop will be going on also. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and you will be able to see part 2 in the near future. Log on to my website at spikehornwoods.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Spikehorn Woods,